has dropped his latest verbal nuke on Kamala Harris, and it's as savage as it is hilarious. The lifelong Democrat voters' fresh barrage lands right after Harris's humiliating book launch just days ago. Fair warning, this episode is explosive enough to torch headlines. So, call the fire department. In the meantime, smash that subscribe button and let's dive in.
I told you so. I've been telling Democrats for years the Republicans are going to steal pot from you as an issue, and now Trump says...
We're looking at reclassification, and we'll make a determination.
What'd you expect? He is the master at winning votes from small groups who are passionate about one issue, picking up a couple percent here, a couple there, until on election night it's YMCA.
This is fascinating, especially coming from someone who never voted for Donald Trump. But here's the truth. Trump has perfected the art of winning over small, dedicated groups of voters, and has been doing it with ruthless efficiency. Meanwhile, Democrats have spent the last 5 years floundering, unable to connect with those same grassroots pockets of energy. Maher's statement doesn't just highlight Trump's sharp political instincts, it also exposes the glaring weakness in Harris's campaign. What should have been her opportunity to inspire and galvanize people turned into a tone-deaf mess that alienated more than it attracted.
Intangibles like equity and saving the soul of America. Trump says, hey waitress, how'd you like to pay? You know by how much? 50.59%. Because napalm in the morning smells like victory.
And I'll never get tired of saying this. The left is simply too idealistic, too naive for modern-day America. Their policies sound good in speeches but collapse in reality, empty promises dressed up as progress, usually designed to pander to a loud minority instead of the silent majority. While Democrats obsess over gender pronouns, identity checklists, and feelings, real Americans are left wondering, who's fixing the cost of living? Who's securing our borders? Who's making sure our families are safe? Until they figure that out, they'll keep losing ground to leaders like Trump, who actually speak to the struggles of everyday Americans.
He did it with the tip.
Cut through the noise and get straight to the heart of the voters. While Democrats were busy overcomplicating every issue, drowning in think pieces and buzzwords, Trump zeroed in on the basics: jobs, security, borders, and dignity. He understood that what the political class dismissed as too simple were actually the core issues Americans cared about most. And instead of lecturing people, he promised to fight for them if they gave him their votes. They did. And he delivered in ways that stunned the establishment. Trump is that he actually learned from his failures the last time around and made adjustments. Unlike most politicians, he didn't stubbornly cling to losing strategies. He just needed to understand what the average American wanted and then deliver on it. Simple, effective, brutally practical. Meanwhile, Democrats seem incapable of learning from their defeats. Every loss should have been a wake-up call, but instead of evolving, they doubled down. Last November should have been a glaring signal to abandon the sinking ship of wokeism. Yet they cling to it as if their political survival depends on it. Another key factor that paved the way for the Democrats' defeat was their obsession with drowning the country in endless regulations and suffocating bureaucracy. Under Joe Biden, the red tape piled so high it strangled innovation before it could even take off. Tech companies already battling global competition found themselves boxed in by compliance, environmental hoops, and tax burdens. Then came Trump, flipping the script. Instead of more rules, he promised simplification, cutting unnecessary clutter, and unleashing industries to actually grow. The contrast couldn't have been clearer. Word salad moments have become a running joke, and for good reason. She simply doesn't have the political skill or communication finesse to sell the Democrats' agenda, assuming they even had a coherent one to begin with. Instead of inspiring confidence or rallying support, she stumbled through rambling, disjointed sentences that left audiences more confused than convinced. And then, of course, came the cackles. Those awkward, unending bursts of laughter only amplified the perception that Harris was out of her depth.
Not exactly ask not what your country can do for you, but for some little niche group, it was all that mattered. He's right! It shouldn't take 2 flushes to make my shit go away. That's my guy, YMCA.
Trump's election victory was nothing short of a masterclass in political strategy. How to win over voters who once despised you and turn that hostility into raw support. It wasn't just about catchy slogans or rallies packed to the brim. It was about convincing millions of Americans that he actually cared about them, their struggles, and their country. For decades, politics had been dominated by elites who treated power like a personal bank account. Trump flipped that script and showed that politics could be about serving the people first.
People say, it doesn't make sense. He's a billionaire from New York, no less. And everything he sits on is gold. How could he possibly connect with the common man? Felons, a connection he built on in 2024 by becoming one.
Trump brought everyone he could into his corner to secure victory, and he did it with a mix of strategy and showmanship that left Democrats flat-footed. One of his boldest moves was granting high-profile pardons, including to Lil Wayne and other rappers who had faced incarceration. For the political class, it looked like a stunt. But for many everyday people, especially within the hip-hop community, it was proof that Trump wasn't afraid to shake things up and deliver tangible results. That bold outreach won him a slice of black voters, particularly younger ones, rattling his opponents.
And then
At the end of the day, Trump's rise wasn't an accident. It was strategy, instinct, and fearlessness rolled into one. He mastered the art of connecting with people on core issues that Democrats dismissed as too simple. He turned criticism into fuel, transformed enemies into allies, and even tapped into unexpected communities, from blue-collar workers to hip-hop fans. Love him or hate him, Trump's success exposed exactly why the old playbook is broken and why his influence isn't going anywhere. That's his enduring advantage.